Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Playing World Tanks. I'm AJ, and today we'll be looking at a game that I had in my AMX CDC, which is the French Tier 8 medium tank. It's a premium tank available in the gift shop, and it is an extremely well tank for what it does, which is earn money, but other than that, it's a very difficult tank to play just because it has no armor and its modules are pretty fragile. Just like the Leo 1, you can get ammo right frontally, so the trick is to be always held down and also to avoid arty shots. So on this map Erlenberg, like today I decided to do something different. I saw a vast majority of my heavy tanks trying to go towards the 1-2 line, and so I decided I would do the same and support them from this corner. The other reason why I went here was there's only one arty. If there was more than one arty, I would have actually not done so, just because they can basically bomb this corner into the next dimension, and I would probably just take damage from getting splashed all the time. So I took a risk of coming here and supporting the heavy tanks who were going to proceed along this line. So most of this action is just going to be me here generally sniping and supporting the heavy tanks. It's not really that interesting. Other than that, I'll just talk how to play the CDC in the meantime. So the trick to playing the CDC is that its gun is mounted pretty high in the turret, and if you are using the max amount of gun depression that is available to the CDC, you offer a very small window of opportunity for the enemy to shoot at you, a very small target, and so you want to be held down as much as possible. You want to be shooting people when they can't spot you, and if you are going to be taking shots at people, you also want to make sure that that you have some sort of cover between you and them. Also, this tank has no armor. When I say no armor, a tier 1 can pen you with stock ammunition. That's the kind of armor we're talking about. Now, the other trick to playing the CDC well is playing it as a long-range support tank. You cannot be up close. People will certainly focus you down over anything else, just because most people in this game just tend to do damage and they don't care where that damage comes from. And that's why you'll see tier 10s shooting stuff at tier 8s, just because they don't care. So long as they can get some damage done, they're going to get it done. So some of the other context about this game you have to keep in mind is I'm firing a lot of APCR just because I was facing a lot of heavy tanks frontally with not enough chance to sort of like shoot at their weak spots. Also, this was the game I had a 94 point some odd percent before I could get the third mark of excellence, so I was gonna fire as much APCR as I was needed to get to over the hump and actually get the third mark of excellence. And I'm not using mods in this game either, just because our clan plays in the clan league, and you're not allowed to use mods in that. So just using the vanilla client and trying to do as much damage as possible. But some of these shots, actually most of these shots, I could have made without actually firing APCR. It's just that I was getting a little bit frustrated about not penning stuff, and so I kind of like switched over to APCR. Like this tank I was firing at, if I was firing APCR or AP rounds, I don't think it would have mattered. His base side armor would have absorbed those anyways. Also, the APCR rounds on these tanks aren't really insane. It's 237 pen, which is good, but it's not gonna just make you go through anything you're firing at. So first of all, I think our game over here was going well enough. I thought we were gonna win this pretty easily, just because all the other side had to do was just hold their flank, and we were gonna just mess up this side accordingly. And that's unfortunately doesn't happen. The other side actually does push in and lose a lot of tanks in the process. Now the Erlenberg, this corner is extremely strong. As you can see, there's so much cover here that if you're using a tank that's really accurate at putting damage at a distance and has the pen to do so, you should take your tank here if you are not such a big fan of going along the 0-9 line. Also, like, your tanks have to like push up really far to sort of like spot this corner. A good thing to do is actually go underneath and spot the people on the ridge, which none of them do, and they kind of like pay accordingly. And so, since this was almost like the perfect storm of things that came together for me to sort of like do this much damage in this game, and so Maybe a couple of shots that I took, actually the APCR did benefit some of those shots, like, you know, firing at the front of certain tanks. But other than that, I think if I had done like the exact same thing, firing AP rounds, I would have done like maybe 2 or 3 shots with less of damage overall, but still had a pretty good game. So I'm just waiting here, hoping that the heavy tanks move up and light the 2 enemies that have been sitting in the back all this time. And now this poor 268 gets taken out, and I know there's still a Roomba somewhere in there sitting in the open, so as soon as he's lit, he's not near any cover. So I load my second round as HE round, and we take him out. Now I'm just gonna rush in and hopefully take out the M12 in the corner. And at this point, I still thought that there was enough tanks on our cap to sort of like make this game a pretty one-sided affair. But things can change very quickly in Mortal Tanks, so as you'll see momentarily. Now at this point, I was gunning for the M12 because I thought that, you know, the other side is gonna hold, so I don't need to go there. But at this point, as I turn my turret, I kind of realize I need to hurry up because the other side has broken through and we might not get a chance to actually to cap this thing out before they do so. So I put my first shot into the M12 in a hurry, put my second shot as well. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to race towards our cap as quickly as I can. And I see here there's a Scorpion sitting in the open, you know, trying to reset cap on our side. And I know I have to do the same towards the enemy. So instead of going through that bridge, which the Scorpion's kind of guarding, I decided to go through the middle bridge to sort of like come behind whoever's capping on our side. So now what happens is, like, I know there's 2 tanks that have crossed the bridge. They're going to be capping or slash defending. I spot the CDC over here, and I see the BZ, oh sorry, not the BZ, sorry, the T-34-3 on the cap. So what I do is, and this is a chance, I fire on the move, and I'm going to ram the CDC just because I need to kill him in quickly, and that's probably the best way of taking out the CDC. Just because if I don't finish him off quickly enough, I might not get to reset. Now this was a risk overall. It could have gone the other way as well. So as soon as I finish him off, I start heading towards the cap, and at this point the T-34-3 disappears. I fire a speculative shot where I think he was going to be, and it connects, resetting the cap. Now I know that from his health, if I did manage to hit him, I need to pin him roughly twice or 3 times to finish him off, and he gets off cap because he realizes that I'm here. Now the game is pretty much won. He's never going to get back quick enough to sort of like reset, plus there's an IS still alive who's gonna make somewhat easy work of a T-34-3. And so I spot him in the open. I know I'm spotted. I get to a hull down spot. I aim my shot as long as I can, fire, and back off. After the T-34-3 fires, I aim again. Now I should have just fired the shot and this would have actually ended the game, but seeing that the T-34-3 is sort of like running away, I didn't want to just like give him the option of coming out of that dip, just because I wanted to get close enough to him to sort of like take the shot and finish him off. Now I'm thinking he's going towards the left side, but no, he just comes straight up, turns his turret, fires, misses. I fire too, and I pen, but unfortunately for him, I reload way faster than he does, and he's not nearly fast enough to get away from me. And that's the last shot that finishes the game for us. So here's the end results. 3 marks of excellence on the CDC. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next episode of Playing World of Tanks.